game screen. Now I will play this game. So okay, so what you need to do, you need to let this, okay fine, as you need to let the snake eat its food, but also you have to prevent it from touching the edges or touching its body. So this is what, so here is our new screen project. Now we will create a grid here. So for that we need to design a sprite. Okay, so check it and so you need to create a combination of two kind of boxes here so that you can create grid here. Now I'm deciding its size and color. So I think it is good. So now create a copy of this one and give it a name 1 and 2. Now choose its color. So choose a combination. Fine. Okay. So it is good. So check color of this and put it here. Okay, fine. So we have two costumes ready here. Now we will code this. So for this, firstly you need to take a render variable here. So to create render here, we'll take my blocks and make a block. And your block name is render. Run without screen refresh. Okay, so define render and put it here. Okay, fine. So next what you need to do, you need to show this rendering and if you are showing this somewhere you need to hide this also. So whenever my flag will click, I need to render this position. Basically rendering means you need to make this block without creating another blocks. You need to create its position here and then its copies will repeating it one by one and it will fill all the screen without using another blocks. Only this one block will create and cover, or you can say full all the screen by simultaneous two blocks, as you have created two blocks here. So it will change its costume and due to which it will create rendering positions here, and finally we've got our grid. So next you need to decide its position. So put it here. Okay, so it is minus 221 and 165. So go to motion and take its position here. And next what you need to do, you need to switch its costume and so switch costume to costume 1 and then let's see what happened. Okay, fine. It will be a, as you can see it is not creating because you need to make a stamp here, but before stamp you need to remove a second costume and as first costume will print, then second, then first, first second, then first, then second. So this is how to create the grid. So for that, go to pen and take erase all. Now repeat the statement. How much time? Take repeat and okay, fine. Repeat it as like I'm taking 23 randomly, and another you need to repeat it. This is for rows, and now this is for column, like 30 columns I want to repeat. So now what happened next? You need to create a stem of same combinations, and then it needs to take next costume, because it needs to change its costume and again and again. That is how it is creating the matrix or grid. So now change its position by okay, fine, this Y position, no, next X position by say okay, yes, you can see just creating here. Fine, we need to change this position by 16. Let's see again. Fine, it is good. Yeah, it is working. And next, you need to change its Y position also. So change Y position as this is for repeat 30 is for X axis, and then for Y axis we are doing operations here, and then it needs to change its costume again, and then set its X axis for forever to, let's say, okay, minus 221, as I have taken minus 221 here also, so it will create this. Fine, it is not creating that. Okay, you need to hide this. Okay, I have made some mistake. Let's see. So we need to see this, what mistake we have done. Here it needs to be minus 16. So now we will see. Okay, yes, it is good. This is your grid right now, and okay, we need to shift it upside a little bit. So for this, okay, change this with 69, not 65. Okay, so now it is good. And do one more thing, 15, and let's say it is minus 15. Now see the changes. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Okay, so you can redo the changes, undo the changes, and now this is good. Okay, fine. So next, what we need to do? So next you need to make a snake. Firstly, give it a name grid, and now we will make another sprite as, so let's take, okay, let's take create your combination here. Fine, so we need to make a cube. Fine, so it must be of some ratio. Fine, so this is your snake space. Now I will create some eyes here. So take this one and Okay, fine. Later we will do this. Firstly, what you need to do, you make a duplicate of this one, and for this, what you need to do, okay, fine, you need to resize it, as it must be a little bit slower than the first one. Fine. So for first one, we will make eyes here. Okay, so to create eyes, you need to take circle. Fine, must be of this size, and okay, and similarly take another circle. So here it is. Okay, fine. So now what you need to do, you need to code this. So to code this, firstly we need to take a flag. So take flag, and whenever this flag will click, initially it needs to switch its costume to costume 1, as it is its face. So initially we need to put this like here. I want to put this, and for this you need to go to X and Y. So next you need to do is, it needs to point its direction in 90 degree, and then okay, fine. Now we will make its positions, how to control the snake. Whenever this flag will click, firstly take flag, and then okay, whenever the up key will press, then what happens? So whenever the forever loop will run, and if, put it here, as we have to put long conditions here. So whenever the up key will press, so go to sensing and take up key, and you need to apply some condition here. So later I will do this. Okay, fine. So what you need to do, if this up key will press, it needs to set its X position. Like say you need to make a variable here, because now we are defining its velocity. Let's say X, and another variable Y. So for X, set X to 0, set X to 0, and set Y to, let's say, we can take any value, let's say 16, and it needs to be direct in 0 degree. So it needs to be pointing direction of 0 degree. But if it is not pointing in, if it is pointing in 0 direction, it must not be point in 180 degrees. So for that we need to apply some condition here, and for that you need to take operator, take AND operator. Now whenever the up key will press, put it here, then what happens? You need to take, it must not be in 180 degrees. So it must not be, its direction must not be equals to, so go to direction, its direction must not be equals to 180 degree, and then put this condition here. Fine. Now for down, left and right condition, we need to create duplicate of this loop, as it must be here, and another duplicate, it must be here, and also you need to take another duplicate, so it must be here. Now you can increase this. Fine. So let's say for down it must not direct 0, and it must be in negative of 16, and it must be in 180 degree of position. And if I will press right arrow, then it must not be in minus 90 degree, it must be in 90 degree, and it must be not in 0 position, it must be in 16, and y must be 0. And similarly for this, it must be minus 16 and it must be 0, and it should be minus 90 and not must be 90. So this will fine. Okay, fine. So okay, fine. So this is how it works. Okay. Fine. Now next you need to take a variable length, because whenever this snake will eat its fruit, it will increase its length by 1. So take length and set its length to 0. No. Set its length to 5 and set its x-axis to 16 first and its y-axis to 0, and select x, select y, no, not x, it must be y. So next you need to do, whenever the flag will press, the snake will create its clone and change its x and y position by x and y velocity. So if you need to take forever here, because it needs to be continue again and again. So fine. Okay, now create a clone of itself. Next, change its x-axis by x and y-axis by y. Okay, fine. Okay, oops. Not it. Okay, we will remove this error later. First design it. Okay, so next, whenever it will start as a clone, it needs to switch its costume, because as you can see, it only switching it to its its first costume, that costume number 1, but it needs to switch its costume to costume 2. So for that, whenever it will start as a clone, you need to make a variable its position. Let's say take x position and take another variable, let's say y position, and set it to X position and Y position. And what you need to put here, you need to set this variable to X and Y position. So whatever you have taken here. Fine. Why we are doing this? Because whenever this snake will create its clone, that clone needs also to be moved in some direction and needs to be change its speed accordingly. So that is why I am giving them a position which is X position and Y position, and then later it needs to switch its costume to costume 2, and it needs to wait for the second. Let's see how much second. Okay, it needs to wait for, okay, let's say for the seconds, let's say 5 seconds, or you can take whatever the length of the snake. It needs to wait for that much second, because if I fix the delay here, then it will stuck according to by stucking it with its body, so your game will over soon. But we should not do that. We should take some delay according to the length of the snake. Now if it will wait, then what will happen? It will delete its clone, otherwise the clone will increasing continuously. Fine. So next, what you need to do? Next, okay, if this snake will touch any of the edge of this screen, the game will stop then. So for that condition you need to take again flag here, and if, let's say, take forever, whenever this will touch color, if it is touching color either black or purple, so you need to take notch operator here. Okay, no, notch, it must be OR operator. So if it is touching or it is touching another color, let's say if it is touching this purple color, and fine, okay, we have made some mistake. If it is touching not this color, you need to take if or if it is touching the edge, if let's say if this color will touch the purple one, then the game will over. Then the game will over and it will play a sound. Let's take a sound here. Okay, fine. So let's play a sound until done. Go to sound. So play a sound here and then stop all. So take stop all from this side. Fine. So next what we will do, firstly see what all is done or not. So okay, fine. Next we will create a fruit here. So take your fruit, apple, nice. So redesign it. It needs to be of Fine. Now it is good. It is apple. Now we will code this. So for this, firstly, we will make these things to be disappearing, not to disappear on the screen, and length will display. Fine. Okay, and now for this you need to make a variable, and make a variable like apple randomizer. Fine. So okay, so firstly what you need to take, okay, so you need to take a flag and take apple randomizer. No, not here. Okay. So whenever this apple randomizer will start, it needs to show and it needs to go to, let's say, this axis, and it needs to repeat this, let's see, take repeat block from here, and so give it, let's say it will repeat itself by 23 times, and this is for y-axis, this is for y-axis. Now we will take another repeat to repeat it for x-axis. For x-axis we are taking similarly as whenever we have designed this grid, also we have taken these kind of positions, because we need to design its position or repeating numbers according to grid also. So that is why I am taking the same numbers. And now change its x-axis by 16, and if, let's say, if it is touching the purple color, then what happened next? No, it needs to touch black color. If it touches purple color, then it needs to change its position randomly throughout this surface. So for that, what we need to do? So let's say take if it will not touch purple color, go to sense, touching color, and let's say not touching purple color, then it needs to go in random direction from, firstly take F and then take equals to operator. I will tell you why I am taking this. Firstly, let's take it and pick random numbers from 1 to, let's say, 200, and it must be equals to 150. If this random number value, if this equals to 150, then we need to set apple's position to x position and apple's y position to y position. So that is why I am taking this, because I have to decide its position also, otherwise it will create its clone on the same surface again and again. That is why I am taking this. So now you need to take another variable. Take a variable x apple and take y apple. Fine. So set this x apple and y apple to x and y position. must be y apple to x and y position. So then what it needs to do, it needs to broadcast a message. Let's say go to any position or message, you can create any other message. So check go to, it will broadcast a message go to, and then it needs to stop this sprite. So for the sprite we will check stop. It is only happens whenever it is not touching this purple color, and stop. It will stop the script. And okay, so we need to put some more conditions here. Let's see. Now next you need to change its y-axis, as for axis we have done with, and for this y-axis you need to change its y-axis by again -16. You need to take it here, and it must be 16, and set its x-axis to, let's say, 50. Now let's see. Okay, as you can see, this apple is going to random position accordingly. So this is how this apple will work. See, we can do one thing more. Let's see if I'm setting it as -222. Let's see then. Fine. Now it is good. Okay. Now it is good. Now let's see what we have to do then. So next we have to do, whenever I will receive a message go to, as it is broadcasting a message. So whenever I receive go to, I need to do something. What I need to do, let's see. It needs to do, okay, fine. If this apple, if its position is less than the value which existing at the edges of the screen, if it will not be at the position at the edges. Let's say if I'm taking, let's say if its y position is put it here and see what is the position for y, -158. So if the position is not -158, and if its x position is let's say not -241, then it needs to set its position according to x apple and y apple's position. But if not, it needs to take its random position by taking a variable or apple randomizer. So here we have two conditions. If firstly we will take, also you can put apple randomizer here, because whenever this will happen, apple randomizer function needs to be called here also. And for this, take not operator if your position is less than something or fine. So take x and y position. If its x position and y position is less than, let's say, 179 and 224. So then what happened? Then it will go to the x and y position, as we have mentioned it here. The x and y positions are stored in x and y upper velocity, so it will set its direction to according to this velocity. So next go to x apple and y apple. Fine. So but if not, then what happen? You need to take if else loop, not if loop, if else, and if this thing will happen, then go to x and y apple. If not, then go to apple randomizer function. It will call apple randomizer function, and then okay, fine. Now it's okay. So next what you need to do, if the apple will touch this black color, the eye of this snake is, then what happen? The snake's length will be increment by some value. So for that, take whenever I receive flag forever, if it touches the black color, if it touches, I think this function you will remember very easily. So if it is touching the black color, then what happens? It changes its length by let's say 0.25, and it will play a sound of, okay, let's take a sound of bite, to bite something. So okay, fine. So it will play a sound of bite, and the apple will go to its randomizer position. It will play a sound until done, and then apple will go to its random position. So this is how it works. Okay, fine. So let's redesign it. Needs to be here, needs to be here. Fine. Okay. Now next what happened? Okay, next remove these two variables and put its position here. Okay, let's take it as this. Fine. Okay, fine. And put it here. Okay, now now we will see it's working. Fine, now play this. So okay, fine. So it is moving smoothly. Okay, fine. So this is your game, and you can also make it more effective according to your choice. Let's see. Okay, fine, it is out. So this is our game, and you can create your own kind of snake here. So for today, that's it. So this is our snake game, and we will meet you in next video. Till then, bye bye.